Andhra Pradesh Government Special Representative to Middle East and Far East, Sri Karikal Vallavan IAS Special Chief Secretary to Government of Andhra Pradesh Industries, Infrastructure and Commerce, Sri JVN Subramaniam IAS, VC and MD, APIIC and CEO of APETB, Sri M. Govinda Reddy, Chairperson of APIIC. We would like to extend a warm welcome to all the business delegation who have come to find an opportunity. We wish you a very good luck and success. Now may I invite Sri Karikal Vallavan, IAS Special Chief Secretary to Government, Industries and Commerce to kindly step forward and deliver his open remarks.
Good evening to everyone. Shri Mekapati Gautam Reddy Garu, the Honorable Minister for Industries and Commerce, IT and Skill Development, Government of Andhra Pradesh, India. Shri Julfi Rawji, the Advisor to the Government, Cabinet rank. Mr. Subramaniam, the MD APIIC. Mr. Govinda Reddy, the Chairman APIIC. Mr. Hafiz Khan, MLA, Honorable MLA, Kurnool. Leaders of industry and business community in the UAE, the industry leaders and the AP business delegation, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. So, very good evening to all of you. A warm welcome in this August gathering. We really appreciate all of you taking time to come and participate in this networking dinner roundtable as part of our investment roadshow in the UAE. It's a great honor to be part of this event and showcase our country and state on a world stage. The Honorable Prime Minister of India has set a grand vision to make the country a $5 trillion USD economy by 2025 and build a Atmanirbhar Bharat. The India-UAE partnership has also been further strengthened under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister. Andhra Pradesh, the state of Andhra Pradesh is marching ahead with great fervor to participate in its mission and make the state a global hub for trade and manufacturing by building a strong manufacturing sector as a base. With the support from our Honorable Chief Guest, who is likely to be here in a while, Dr. Albana, I'm sure the ties between UAE and the state of AP will grow stronger and stronger. The state of Andhra Pradesh, one of the leading industrialized states in India, you must be aware, the state of Andhra Pradesh is the 8th largest state in India, and it is strategically located on the east coast of India with the second longest coastline, nearly 1,020 kilometers. Andhra Pradesh is blessed with abundant natural resources, mineral wealth, and presents a low-risk and easy environment for business to grow. Under the dynamic leadership of Honorable Chief Minister, Shri Y.S. Jagannath Reddy Garu, we are committed to delivering socio-economic prosperity to the citizens of the state. We are here at the Dubai to showcase the strength of Andhra Pradesh, the transparent policy framework, strategic locational advantages, robust infrastructure, thriving industrial and business ecosystem, skilled manpower, and the immense potential for growth across all sectors. We are also showcasing our state at the Indian Pavilion at Dubai Expo in a new perspective, opening new opportunities for businesses and establishing new relationships between industry and governments. Our development model is based on a strong foundation of infrastructure. The National Infrastructure Pipeline aims to build infrastructure. More than nearly 9,000 projects are there in the national pipeline, worth $1,800 billion across 34 subsectors, including under the following key areas, namely ports, aviation, urban public transport, highways, and railways. AP is increasingly looking to partner with large private sector firms towards forging partnership via effective models in PPP basis. To sustain large-scale industry, we are also investing heavily into development of infrastructure such as ports, airports, logistic hubs, multimodal logistics hubs, fishing harbors, etc. The state is home for 6 existing ports, out of which the major port which serves the vast area of hinterland are Visakhapatnam, Gangavaram, Kakinada, and Krishnapatnam. Besides, we have one anchorage port and we have one captive port. Now we are developing 3 new ports under landlord model at Bhavanapadu, Machilipatnam, Ramayapatnam. Another one port is coming up under private sector under PPP model at Kakinada, so which serves the Kakinada industrial area. We are also building 9 new fishing harbors. These fishing harbors are going to be mini ports. In addition to the ports, we are also developing supporting infrastructure such as ICDs, multimodal logistic parks, etc. The state is also developing 3 industrial corridors. So we are developing nearly 10 nodes in 3 industrial corridors, and AP is the only state having 3 industrial corridors located in one state. The state has plenty of water. This land parcel will also have abundant water supply and can provide the same to industries at competitive prices. In addition to land parcel, the state will help in doing business, in ease of doing business. Apart from ease of doing business, our policy, the state industrial policy, envisages reducing the cost of business, thereby making our companies competitive in the world market. Investors can come and set up their plant in a rapid manner. The state will provide all necessary approvals quickly and ensure that external infrastructure is provided at the doorstep of the industry. I humbly request all of you to come and visit our state, experience the progress being made by the state and collaborate with us. You will be able to interact with multiple industrialists and startups from our state who are also present here. In fact, our AP business delegation comprises of variety of industries, various sectors, right from automotive, food processing, precision engineering. So all sectors are represented here. I'm also happy to inform all of you today that we have been accompanied by a strong business delegation from Andhra Pradesh, comprising of companies across automobile, food processing, textiles, healthcare, information technology, capital goods to showcase their strength and to forge new partnership on this global platform. Our team from AP Maritime Board is also here, headed by Deputy Chairman of Maritime Board. So they will, be able to interact with the prospective investors. So I humbly request all of you to visit the State Pavilion in the Dubai Expo, learn about our state and collaborate with us to become part of a great growth story for the next decade and more. Next, I would like to, my only request to you is the strength of Andhra Pradesh is well known. The unique selling point is our strong governance. So we have governance up to the root, up to the doorstep of villages and towns. So we have very strong governance, a transparent governance. A strong governance will always help business to flourish. So we aim at an inclusive growth, wherein the socio-economic aspect is taken care of. Post this interaction, you are always welcome to reach out to Andhra Pradesh Economic Development Board. So there is one point of contact, a single point of contact, Economic Development Board, and bring forth ideas on which we can collaborate to build a great future together. So thanks again for coming to this event. Hope to interact closely with all of you during the dinner. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we take this opportunity to show you the AV of the AP State Pavilion inauguration, which was witnessed by Dr. Tania and His Excellency Ahmed Albana. AV, please.
the state of Andhra Pradesh has very much inherent strengths and very strategic in terms of looking forward, in terms of when the government of India is looking to a $5 trillion economy. This is one of the critical states for taking the foundations for taking this forward to the $5 trillion economy. And the state is well endowed in terms of exports markets, in terms of infrastructure development, in terms of skilling and other facilities. Our major and gentlemen, good evening to all of you and welcome to this event. On behalf of Government of Andhra Pradesh, I warmly extend a hearty welcome to the Andhra Pradesh Investment Roadshow and sincerely thank you for gracing the event this evening. India and United Arab Emirates enjoy strong bonds of friendship based on age-old cultural and religious and economic ties between the two nations. The UAE was the third largest trade partner for the 8th consecutive year in 2020-21. Both the countries hope to sign a formal free trade agreement in the early part of 2022 to achieve over $115 billion bilateral trade in the 5 years. India has fast emerged as the go-to country for the UAE in its ambitious quest for food security investments. The India-UAE Food Corridor is a springboard for massive growth in the agriculture story. India has achieved remarkable progress across economic and social development metrics. The Prime Minister, Narendra Modi ji, in 2019 has envisaged making India a $5 trillion economy and a global economic powerhouse by 2024-2025. Over the past few years, the government of India has undertaken several path-breaking reforms and initiatives that have ensured competitiveness, policy stability, enhanced transparency, expanded digitalization, and fostered innovation and to facilitate investments. India's education system today churns out about $7 million university graduates per year. Over the next 2 decades, the country will have the largest working age population of almost 1.1 billion people. The development of robust infrastructure and manufacturing sectors continue to be a key priority of the Indian government that will boost the economic growth and employment. Today, India is also becoming a hub for innovation and startups. India has a total of 81 unicorns with a total valuation of $274 billion. Also, 90 founders among top 500 US unicorns were born in India. Coming to my state of Andhra Pradesh is one of the leading states in India driving the economic growth. The state of Andhra Pradesh is strategically located on the India East Coast with a 974 kilometers of long sea coastline. The vision of my Chief Minister is to develop Andhra Pradesh into a model state built on 4 themes: investing in the future, transformative governance, driving economic growth, and environmental and social governance. Andhra Pradesh has several advantages with a strong agrarian base, a natural and mineral resources, strong pro-industrial policies, and a very enabling business environment. And we also have a very educated and highly skilled manpower. In fact, the state has been ranked as #1 in India as in the ease of doing business by the World Bank and the Government of India. AP offers immense opportunities for investments and collaborations across the agriculture and food sector. The infrastructure has been explained very clearly by our secretary. The ports that we have undertaken, 3 major ports are undertaken for development, the airport sector and the logistics sector too. The third, manufacturing, is something that the state of Andhra Pradesh is very proud to showcase itself. We are one of the leaders in the pharmaceuticals, the food processing, and the petrochemical segment. Also in the IT and electronics and textiles. And the third is our exports. The food sector in Andhra Pradesh, to give you a brief note, with the UAE Food Corridor, India-UAE Food Corridor in tune with the UAE National Strategy for Food Security, forging international partnerships to diversify food resources will be the key. We believe that the state of Andhra Pradesh is ideally positioned to support the UAE in its food security agenda. Meat, fish, and rice are the staple foods of the Emirati cuisine. Andhra Pradesh is extremely strong across agriculture, horticulture, meat production, and aquaculture. Andhra Pradesh is known as the rice bowl of India. We produce almost 8.65
metric tons of rice paddy annually. We're the third largest producer of rice in India. We also have strengths in maize, chili, groundnut production. In terms of horticulture, we are among the top 2 producers of banana, mango, papaya, lemon. Also in eggs productions, we're the top Indian state in India. Our meat production stands at number 4. We produce annually 0.85 million tons annually. In terms of aquaculture, we are ranked number 1 in total fish production and shrimp production in the country. We contribute almost 24% of national fish production with 65% of cultured shrimp produced in India. Our marine products have been the top exporting commodity, almost close to about $1.8 billion is annually exported from AP. We contribute 14% to our export basket. We are also home to 16,000 MSME parks, food processing units, and also 180 large and mega food processing units with an investment of $1.5 billion. Coming to our infrastructure development, we have a very ambitious plan for developing world-class and a large-scale infrastructure. As we have mentioned already, the ports, Andhra Pradesh is one of the significant gateways on the Indian East Coast and has advantage of deep drafts. The state offers huge potential for port-led development. Apart from our existing 6 ports, we have undertaken to develop 3 new ports on the East Coast, with almost increasing our cargo holding facilities, namely Ramayapatnam, Machilipatnam, and Bhavanapadu. We are also undertaken 2 greenfield projects, one at Bogapuram and another one at Dagatatti, Nellore. As we also know, the state of Andhra Pradesh enjoys 3 industrial corridors. In fact, this is the only state where all the 13 districts of the state come under the industrial corridor sector. So that is a great advantage that this state enjoys immensely. There's also rapid industrialization happening within Andhra Pradesh, as we've just discussed the 3 industrial corridors, and also a flagship plant, steel plant in YSR Kadapa district, electronics, manufacturing clusters, and the textile parks. We've also explained to you how on the East Coast, the petrochemical sector is poised for a great growth. We have almost 645 square kilometers positioned as a petrochemical park in the coming days. Coming to the exports, with a strong maritime sector supported by a thriving manufacturing sector, Andhra Pradesh exports is on the rise. Some of the leading products from Andhra Pradesh that can be imported into the UAE includes the marine products, the food products, the minerals, and also textiles. We look forward to our industry from AP forging partnership with potential importers from UAE for mutual benefits. And as to the jewel in our crown is the skill development. As a state, we are very proactive and have ensured that skill resources are available to the industry. The state government is planning to establish 30 skill development colleges across the state. The proposal also includes a skill development university which would head all these colleges. The innovative project, Industry Customized Skill Training Program, was started with an aim of making professionals available to companies. This will benefit the industry players with the ready-made skill resources. Friends, before I complete, I also have a few words from our Chief Minister. I think for too long I've been discussing, since one of the businesses that look forward strategically is continuation of policies, stability, and more so important, in the continuance of whatever has been promised. I can promise you with this very open heart and a very clear mind that the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh has envisaged an industry policy not for the next 5 years, for the next 15 years, so that industries such as you or value creators such as you can see a stability in the policies for the next 15 years. For this to happen, we have undertaken a massive program of taking our policy and through a very transparent process of making sure that all the stakeholders in the state are aware of the policies that we are going to be undertaking. And we have also given them a place for if they have any points of doubt or points of rejections that they can come forward to. So once this has been undertaken and once all the doubts have been cleared, you will have a very clear and a very robust long-term industry policies. So irrespective of whether any government changes or for that matter, anything that happens, a continuation of this policy is going to happen in the state of Andhra Pradesh in the coming days. And I can only tell you this, you're all welcome to the state of Andhra Pradesh. And as we follow a simple word, you grow, we grow. Thank you very much and good day. Jai Hind.
On this wonderful note, we take the opportunity to present you a short AV on the advantages of Andhra Pradesh. AV, please.
Andhra Pradesh, India's most progressive state, with abundant natural resources and skilled workforce, is driving the change. The state boasts of a rapidly growing infrastructure leading to industrial growth.
The performance stands testimony to our belief that right infrastructure and enabling policies, these two are very, very important. In fact, they become the cornerstones for industrial development, in growth, and augmentation of exports.
Andhra Pradesh is the only state with 3 industrial corridors, which are Vizag to Chennai Industrial Corridor, Chennai to Bangalore Industrial Corridor, and Hyderabad to Bangalore Industrial Corridor. In addition to expanding the capacity of ports, 5 new ports with connectivity to major hubs, multimodal logistics hubs, and port-based industrial clusters are also planned. With various initiatives in the airport development, Andhra Pradesh is becoming an air cargo hub with air cargo facilities at Vijayawada and Visakhapatnam.
And the state's contribution to exports, from the 9th position that we were in 2018-19 to 7th position in 2019-20 and to the 4th position now in 2020-21.
A dedicated strategic plan is designed to establish Andhra Pradesh as a leading export hub in the country. In Koparthi, Kadapa, as part of VCIC, we are developing YSR Jagananna Mega Industrial Hub and YSR AMC with best-in-class infrastructure facilities like power, water, CETPs and STPs. The government of Andhra Pradesh has identified focus sectors for promoting industries in the state and carved out sector-specific policies to boost the growth in these sectors: agri-tech and food processing. Andhra Pradesh is an established leader in the production of eggs, coastal and freshwater aquaculture and horticulture commodities like mango, papaya, lemon, tomato and chili. Automobile and auto components, a robust ecosystem of automobile and auto components, and an emerging leader in EV public transportation. IT and electronics. 25% of the Indian IT workforce in Silicon Valley are from the Telugu community. The state of Andhra Pradesh contributes to India's overall manufacturing by commanding over 20% of India's electronics and hardware manufacturing. Andhra Pradesh produces 1 mobile phone every second. Pharma and biotech. Andhra Pradesh offers the opportunity to access the domestic market of $36 billion in APIs and biopharmaceuticals, recording 15% growth annually. Textiles and apparel, largest producer of cotton in India, 1.9 million bales per year, and second largest raw silk producer. Aerospace and defense. Andhra Pradesh has a well-developed defense ecosystem with Visakhapatnam as the headquarters of the Eastern Naval Command and ISRO Launch Station. Chemicals and petrochemicals. Home to the maximum oil and gas discoveries in India, 71 discoveries in the last 5 years, and India's largest offshore gas field in KG Basin with 1,130 MMT reserves. World-class infrastructure, thriving focus sectors, best-in-class policies, skilled workforce, stable government, transparent administration. Investors have it all.
A simple motto that we follow at Andhra Pradesh is, you grow, we grow.
Come, let's grow together. Andhra Pradesh, where abundance meets prosperity.
Thank you for being a good audience. We'll have a short interaction soon, a QA session, and we request you to prepare your questions or any initial comments from the government of Andhra Pradesh ready. Now, I invite Sri JVN Subramaniam, IAS, VC and MD, APIIC, and CEO of APEDB to address the audience with a presentation on achievements and initiations taken by the state government. Thank you.
At the very outset, let me take this opportunity to thank each one of the business leaders present here today who have come to grace this occasion on the invitation by Government of Andhra Pradesh by taking out your valuable time and by paying a patient hearing as to what is being told, because this is the first step for any project to take off, and I think all of us have taken the first step today. Thank you all for being here at our invitation from our Honorable CM and from the Government of Andhra Pradesh. Today amidst us, we have Shri Mekapati Gautam Reddy Garu. He is the Honorable Minister for Industries, Commerce, IT, Electronics, Skill Development, Handloom, Textiles, and a host of other designations that he holds. Probably it will take time for me to read out his entire list, sir. We also amidst us Sri Zulfi Rafziji, who is the advisor to Government of Andhra Pradesh, Honorable CM, and also special representative to Middle East and Far East. He's a known name in the Middle East circles and especially in Dubai. Our Special Chief Secretary, Industry and Commerce, Shri Karikala Valvanji. Dr. Aman Puri, Consul General of Dubai in UAE, who needs no introduction to all of you. We have amidst us Mr. M. Govinda Reddy Garu, who is the Chairman of the AP Industrial Infrastructure Corporation, and also Mr. Hafiz Khan, who is not only the MLA of Kurnool, he's to my left, but he's also one of the special representatives in the Middle East, who works closely along with Shri Zulfi Rafziji. Myself, JVN Subramaniam, I am the CEO of the AP Economic Development Board and also the Vice Chairman and MD of AP Industrial Infrastructure Corporation. So, APEDB, the Economic Development Board, you have all heard. The speakers before me both are Special Chief Secretary and Honorable Minister, both of them spoke. I promise to speak the nuts and bolts. Probably I'll try to be brief, but I'll try to explain where we can collaborate. We can collaborate at a more ground level, at a more field level, because the macro economic pitch of the state has already been made by the Honorable Minister. So I'll try to not touch what has already been told, but let me try to see what all are there over and above what our Honorable Minister and our Special Chief Secretary told about the state of Andhra Pradesh. Briefly, most of you would definitely be knowing, but for some of you, we are the 8th largest state, having the 2nd longest coastline, 972 kilometers of coastline we have got, which has got an immense potential for exports, logistics, which is why you have heard our Honorable CM speak about how we have grown from place to place in our export basket from the 9th position to the 7th position to the 4th position in 2021. I'll also try to explain during the course of my presentation what kind of matchmaking is possible between entities in AP and entities in Dubai or UAE. Because today we are also fortunate to have the business delegation of almost 20 business leaders from Andhra Pradesh. The one you see over here represent government, but there are people amongst the audience who are business leaders from Andhra Pradesh who have come in support of the businesses in AP. So you have a private sector engagement, private sector talk about what is possible with the state of Andhra Pradesh. You see, we are a young state, not just young in terms of when we were formed. It's in 2014, there was a bifurcation between the Telugu states. We are young in that sense. At the same time, 71% of our population is in the working age. So in that sense, we are also young, which means that we have a lot of technical skilled manpower that we can provide to the world, including UAE. So that's the first and foremost thing. Probably the companies in UAE or the investors in UAE can consider. And also way back there, setting up industries, getting manpower is something which is much more easier and simpler. Of course, we have a continuous AP government had continuous ties with the countries in the Middle East. We had engagements with SALEC, SCISP, when we visited Saudi during the last 1.5 years. But of course, post-COVID, this is probably the first high-level delegation that has come to Middle East and to Dubai to speak directly to the investors. And we look forward to this as a continuing engagement. If you see the key achievements of the state, of course, we are the number 1 on the ease of doing business for the last 3 years, number 4 on the exports. On the sustainable development goals in the entire country, we have excellent parameters on education, healthcare. Our National Family Health Survey speaks volumes about the kind of contribution the state government has done in terms of making our citizens more educated, more healthy, more skilled. So that is reflected in the sustainable development goals. We are the number 4. More so, during the COVID, last 2 waves, which actually hit as a big crisis and pandemic for the world, we are the state which have done the highest number of tests per million. We are the state which have done the highest tests per million in the entire country. We are the one which has the lowest mortality rate in the entire country when you compare it with even India statistics. And we are the one with one of the largest vaccinated population now in the entire country. So this is possible. You have heard Honorable Minister speak about decentralized governance. This was possible because of our Honorable Chief Minister's vision in terms of taking governance closer to the doorstep of the people. We have for every 50 households, 1 volunteer who looks after education, health, skilling, their day-to-day rations, everything whatever is required on a welfare side and on a developmental side is looked after by that person who is called a volunteer for those 50 houses. And we did 17 rounds of house-to-house survey on the fever survey, as you call. And WHO has commended this effort in terms of the way COVID was managed in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Why I am saying this? I know this is an industry investment summit, but the way COVID was managed very professionally, we had the minimum impact of lockdown, and our MSMEs, our companies had the minimum impact. We have companies from Sri City here. We have other company CEOs who are sitting here from Andhra Pradesh. They would vouch for the very fact how much effort the state government has put in ensuring that there is minimal disruption to the entire story during COVID. Now, if you see briefly, we have about 37% of our gross value addition coming from agriculture, 22% from industry, and 41% from service sector. So we are predominantly a agrarian economy. Almost about 75% of our population depends on agriculture, but the remaining 25% comes from manufacturing and services. And let me tell you, the kind of effort that was taken during the pandemic, our national, we did better. The state did better in terms of registering a positive growth rate of 1.6%. Even during the last 2 years, during the pandemic, when many countries across the world have registered a negative growth rate, and we have consistently performed better than the national average in terms of our per capita income, which is exceeding the national average. You see over there, we have $2,210 per capita income. So this is because we have agile, young, skilled population which is available for the purpose of wealth creation. I can only put it that way. Now, what we believe in infrastructure-led industrialization. So, Honorable Minister already spoke about this, but if you ask me in detail, we have the ICDs, MMLPs, air cargo complexes which are already under construction at various places. And for the food processing industries, we've got NABL accredited laboratories, pack houses, almost 240 ripening chambers, 400 cold storages, warehouses. So a huge opportunity for the food processing sector. Because why I'm talking about food processing, we've spoken enough about the UAE's food security mission, and we're talking about the rice bowl of India. So why not collaborate there, wherein the rice bowl of India and UAE, whose food security mission is paramount, where we can collaborate and ensure that both the UAE and India and AP succeed. Of course, we are the only state to have 3 industrial corridors, the Visakhapatnam-Chennai, Chennai-Bangalore, Hyderabad-Bangalore corridor that has been already spoken. But what has not been spoken is that there is some of you infrastructure developers, industrial node developers, logistics developers. These are all industrial corridors which are abutting ports and which are connecting to the hinterland. You can look at developing industrial nodes. You can look at developing industrial parks in these corridors which are already there. And of course, the new fishing harbors. Here, when we talk about fishing harbors, we are talking about where people can have the catch, have the storage, have the processing, have the re-export. I repeat, you have, because obviously for having a harbor, you need a good catch, you need a storage facility, you need a processing facility, and you need facilities for re-export. All these things together in an integrated fashion are coming up in our fishing harbors. 8 new fishing harbors, 4 of them which are already getting constructed. You may wonder, is the government doing this or is the private sector doing this? Government is doing this. We believe in creating infrastructure and putting that infrastructure into the hands of the private so that it can, operationally it will be more effective, and from a capital standpoint, we will be in a position to invest into the initial capital investment. That is the model of reducing our cost of doing business also. Now, we are a power surplus state. Morning someone was asking. We are a power surplus state, almost 21 gigawatts of power, almost 169 BCMs of water, 50,000 acres of industrial land, which is available, and with some of the plug and play facilities. If you ask me, hey, you can provide, tomorrow I want to start my business, would you be able to provide a plug and play facility with all approvals there? I would say yes. I would say yes, because today we hold almost 500,000 SFT of plug and play space readily available, and if someone wants to start tomorrow, it's there. So that's the kind of facilities that we provide. That's where our ease of doing business comes from. Of course, this I've already spoken in terms of our secretary has already spoken. So here the fishing harbors and the new ports, which adds to our logistics, and airports on a hub and spoke model, wherein we have got 6 operational airports and 3 more international airports coming up. But what is there? The MRO facility, which is there for grabs, it can come up in a big way, because all the MRO, the entire MRO, there is no facility on the East Coast which does this aircraft maintenance, repair and overhaul. Most of it goes towards Singapore. So here we are developing an MRO facility which can be taken up for private sector investment. Now, moving forward from infrastructure, we have the largest petroleum PCPIR region, the petrochemical and petroleum investment region as it is called, almost 640 square kilometers. This is the largest PCPR region in the entire country. You have seen almost $7.3 billion worth of investments possible in this PCPR region, abutting Kakinada, Visakhapatnam and the north coast of Andhra Pradesh. And oil and gas exploration have been continuing, and we have got major players like Reliance and HP who are already operational there, the GAIL and ONGCs. Why I am saying this? Again, the huge potential for downstream petrochemicals which is possible. In fact, in Nakapalli industrial zone, we are proposing a propane-based PDF plant, so that because PDF is completely imported into the country now, so there we are proposing a PDF location very close to Visakhapatnam. For the purpose, this would be a market for the entire country, not just AP. The PDF facility is coming up in Visakhapatnam in the PCPR region. Now, you must have heard many states, or probably some of the countries, speak about ease of doing business and single window. Let me tell you that this, what we are operating, is a true single window. When I said true single window, this single window doesn't open many windows or many doors. It is a true single window, virtually and physically too, because within 21 days, in case we have amidst His Excellency Dr. Ahmed Abdul Rahman Albana, UAE Ambassador to India. Welcome you, sir. Kindly welcome our Ambassador with a huge round of applause. We warmly welcome His Excellency Dr. Ahmed Abdul Rahman Albana, UAE Ambassador to India. Sir has been very gracious. He's been there with the AP government in the inaugural ceremony of our inauguration of the AP Pavilion. And today, on our invitation, Sir has been very gracious in coming for the investment roadshow. So we are very, very thankful for your presence and for your time. A huge round of applause, please. I'll complete in the next 5 minutes or so. So here, when we talk about single window, there are about 23 departments which are participating, 27 pre-establishment approvals and 41 post-establishment approvals. Anything cleared in 21 days. I repeat, any kind of approval cleared in 21 days. And in case not cleared, it's deemed approved. There is a deeming provision under the law of Andhra Pradesh, wherein we say that if it is not approved, it is deemed approved. But let me tell you, our compliance towards the approvals, any kind of approvals, be it the consent for establishment, the forest clearance licenses, water, power, all these licenses, we have an average timeline for clearance of just 11 days. You see amidst us the Chief Operating Officer of Kia Motors, which is one of the largest FDIs in Andhra Pradesh. They could come into production in straight 18 months' time. One, because of the enabling infrastructure that has been created and the enabling environment in terms of approvals that have been created by the state government for Kia Motors, and it stands testimony for the ease of doing business that we have. And our Honorable Minister has already announced setting up of a UAE country desk, specific UAE country desk in the Economic Development Board for the purpose of investments promotion, which will be a single point interface, and we will have an investment tracker for all the MOUs that we enter. We are just not talking about ease of doing business, we are talking about risk of reducing the cost of doing business and minimizing the risk of doing businesses. So here we are talking about, I have already shown you the plug and play options that is possible, fee rationalization, land cost rationalization, lease come buy model, wherein we are talking about a lease come buy model, wherein you take land initially on lease, after 10 years, you just go in for a buy of the land, or you continue on the lease for 99 years. So all the options are possible. Probably we are the only state in the entire country which follows this lease come buy model. Most of the states either follow a complete lease model or a complete buy model. We have a lease come buy model, wherein you can buy land, lease out land and buy out land in a subsequent phase. So these are the various policy level support that is there. We have the production linked incentives which are given by Government of India, a huge production linked incentives. Similarly, we have got our backward areas policy in terms of Koparthi, which you have already seen, electronics policy, the food processing policy, the tourism policy, electrical mobility policy, and the AP Industrial Development Policy of 2023. So there are sector specific policies which are available, and you can, the entire Advantage AP brochure that you have would give the entire details of it. Some of our focus sectors, automobiles, electronics, food processing, life sciences, chemicals and petrochemicals, which you can look at. Finally, our exports, which we have been speaking, which our Honorable CM, you have heard our Honorable CM speak, we are at a $16.8 billion worth of exports. India exports are close to almost 300 plus, targeted towards the 400 billion this year. Out of that, AP contributes 16.8 billion. We are the fourth largest in terms of the volumes, and we intend to grow up to almost 33 billion in the next 3 years' time. So for that, see, we have done an exporters conclave very recently, and if you see, our marine products constitute almost 15% of our export basket, and our drug formulations constitute almost 7.3%. Why I am telling this? I'll show you in my next slide as to what is possible with UAE. As our Honorable Minister mentioned, we are the largest producer of eggs, fruits, papaya, chili, lemon, all this. There is a huge sourcing which is possible. But more than that, see this. I would just ask your attention for a moment. In fact, our Honorable Ambassador, sir. So this is the matchmaking that is possible. If you see crustaceans, UAE imports almost 222 million USD of crustaceans from the world. Whereas AP, the imports from AP into UAE, or the exports from AP into UAE are just 1 million USD. Whereas, if you see how much AP exports to the world, it's almost 302 million USD. There's a huge gap. When there is a demand for crustaceans, and where there is a state which can provide crustaceans, shrimps, fish, there is a possibility for collaboration in terms of sourcing, in terms of imports. So this is one area. In fact, we have done the similar matchmaking for paddy. Again, you have our president of the non-basmati rice exporters association from Andhra Pradesh, who is sitting over here. They export a lot of rice into West African countries. Honorable Ambassador was mentioning the other day, why not Why not into Dubai? If you see here, the paddy procurement, 529 million USD of paddy procured by UAE from across the globe. Whereas the paddy procurement from AP stands at a very minimal level, whereas we have exported almost 243 million USD of paddy already during the last year. So there is a huge potential for matchmaking there. Tobacco, animal feed, groundnuts, processed fruits and vegetables. Again, you have already seen we are the vegetable bowl, rice bowl and the horticulture market. 557 million USD worth of processed fruits and vegetables. Possible matchmaking. So this is one thing which I want to leave with all of you in terms of what you can actually collaborate with the state. Because we are not just telling a generic sense, we have a sense of what makes business. Of course, there is this another very important initiative of the state government in terms of setting tertiary care health hubs. A lot of tertiary care coming up in 16 prime locations across the state, wherein we provide grassroots level tertiary care of oncology, cardiology, neurology, support for the patients, along with an assured insurance scheme. What the investor needs to do, invest, we give land free of cost, prime lands free of cost. The investor, the private investor, some of you from healthcare here, you just need to put in 100 crores of investment on building and your equipment, bringing your doctors, the specialists and operate it. We give you 50% support on your operating costs through the YSR Arogyashri. So this is the health hubs scheme that is possible, and these health hubs will be notified health hubs for all our YSR Arogyashri, the insurance patients, and these patients will be driving into these tertiary healthcare hubs, which is coming as one for every municipal corporation and one for every district headquarters. We have got 13 districts now, more are getting done, and 3 plus municipal corporations. So total 16 health hubs are coming up. So some of you who are there in the healthcare would urge you to look at this. Finally, our Honorable Minister for Foreign Trade in UAE and Honorable Ambassador, they have already inaugurated this book on investable opportunities in Andhra Pradesh. If you see, this is already there on your tables. So this contains the list of almost 76 projects with almost $36.7 billion worth of investment opportunities possible. This is very much there. Here we are talking about very specific projects in terms of what IRR, what NPV, what payback they will offer you over a period of time. You invest in the form of equity, you invest in the form of debt, or you come as a joint venture partner. We are ready to take it. There are projects across 15 sectors, be it irrigation, be it tourism, be it industries, be it ports, be it desal. We have all sorts of projects which are possible. And this is for just want of time, I'm not getting into the details of these, but this book gives you the entire details of what I'm talking. I've briefly spoken about the health hubs, ports, airports, logistic parks, EVs, the causes, e-mobility, Eurobus, we are entering into an MOU today, aqua, agri and marine processing. Huge investment opportunities possible, and whatever I spoke and whatever we did not speak is all available in this book. So finally, why Andhra Pradesh? Just to summarize, I would say we have a seamless government. You're seeing the entire Andhra Pradesh government seated over here, the who's who of UAE and the who's who of the AP government in terms of what all investors need. We are the number one on the ease of doing business. We can give you supply chain linkages. We give you a single point interface. We give you relationship managers. We give you proximity to skilled labor. As I mentioned to you, 200,000 skilled technical workforce available, and more skilling happening through our skill colleges, attractive policies, and of course, the demand markets are very well there. And let me tell you, when you compare Andhra Pradesh to any of the states across the country, because on industrial investment front, we can speak about 8 to 9 states who compete. when you speak about it, we are almost 43% less on the power cost. Someone was asking in the morning, what's your power cost? We're talking about, we're talking about 4 to 4 rupee 50 paisa, sorry, in Indian rupees, which is almost 43% lesser than the average Indian cost of power. We are talking about almost 15% less of water cost. We are talking about almost 44% less of land costs, and almost your monthly wages, which is almost 20-25% lesser than the average. This is only the averages. When you talk about specifics, it will be much lesser. Why? It's no rocket science, because we are a blessed state to have Krishna, Godavari basins. We are a blessed state, and we have, as our Honorable Minister was mentioning, every fourth person in the Silicon Valley operating today in IT comes from the Telugu-speaking states of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. We are very proud of it. So this is the reason why we can operate at scale, and we can operate at the level what businesses require. And we would be in a position to quickly turn around whatever is required in terms of your investment plans, your expansion plans. And I humbly request all of you to make AP your investment destination, and wish you all the very best. Jai Hind. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. That was a very detailed presentation. Now I take the opportunity to invite the chief guest of the event, Dr. Aman Puri, to have a special address for the event.
Namaskar, Assalamu Alaikum, very good evening to all of you. Shri Mekapati Gautam Reddy, Honorable Minister for Industries and Commerce, Infrastructure and Investments, IT, Skill Development and Training, Government of Andhra Pradesh, His Excellency Dr. Ahmed Al-Banna, UAE Ambassador to India, Shri Zulfi Ravji, Special Advisor to the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, and the Special Representative to Middle East and Far East, His Excellency Major General Sharafuddin Sharaf, Vice Chairman of the Sharaf Group and the Chairman of the UAE India Business Council, Shri Karikal Valevan, Special Chief Secretary, Government of Andhra Pradesh, senior government officials, industrialists, business leaders, innovators and startups from Andhra Pradesh, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm truly delighted to join all of you this evening at the Andhra Pradesh Investment Roadshow here in Dubai. Today, we heard about the enormous opportunities which Andhra Pradesh offers to investors from the UAE and global investors. We are also celebrating Andhra Pradesh participation at the India Pavilion at Expo 2020 Dubai, where India, along with 192 participating countries, is bringing the world together on the invitation of the United Arab Emirates, in the true theme of following the Expo 2020, connecting minds and creating the future. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the visionary UAE leadership, all UAE governmental authorities, and the people of United Arab Emirates for the extraordinary hospitality which all of us have received during this global event. Happening in the backdrop of this unprecedented crisis faced by humanity, it reflects the resilience and spirit of the people of UAE, who've been able to bring all our brothers and sisters from 192 countries to reflect on ways and means to spur economic revival and recovery. I'm really pleased that the Andhra delegation is comprised of a large number of innovators and startups and industrialists who are looking at the futuristic ideas. Here in the UAE, the government has a strong focus on fostering innovation, on supporting partnerships and collaborations, especially between UAE and India. The two countries share very close civilizational and cultural ties, which go back several millennia and have now been transformed into a comprehensive strategic partnership. Very soon, we'll be seeing the signing of the comprehensive economic partnership agreement between the two countries, which aspires to take the pre-COVID trade of $60 billion to about $100 billion in the next 5 years. Both governments are also committed to facilitating investments of close to $75 billion from UAE to India. What is important is for Indian businesses to realize the strategic location of Dubai, how Dubai has been a gateway for Indian companies, for Indian organizations to the Middle East and North Africa region and beyond, and how Dubai can be used as a springboard for their global expansion. So I would like the Andhra-based businesses to look at this amazing opportunity where Dubai and the UAE, which attracts people from over 200 nationalities, attracting global talent, has created all the ingredients for supporting the global expansion of Indian companies and other companies from different parts of the world. We are also seeing huge traction in the Israel, UAE, India trilateral opportunity, and that is again something where we can work together with a huge focus of Israel on the R&D, the regulatory framework of the UAE, the investable surplus which is available here with the sovereign wealth funds, with other family holding companies, and the large PEs and VCs here. Combining it with India's scale of 1.35 billion people, the enormous domestic demand, and the extraordinary motivation of the young, bright Indians who are making us proud. We all saw how 2021 was a landmark year for India's innovation success story, and how we saw the emergence of almost 44 unicorns in just 1 year. Both UAE and India are natural partners to co-create the innovation of the future and the next generation unicorns. With these words, I'd like to once again congratulate the Andhra Pradesh government for the enormous focus they have placed on supporting the journey of investors into the state and for making sure that they can drive partnerships with global investors and create value for the state and for the country. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for a supporting word, sir. Now we are honored to invite the chief guest, His Excellency Dr. Albana, for a special address to the gathering.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Good evening. Honorable Minister of Industries, Commerce and Infrastructure of State of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Zulfi Rabji, Advisor of Government of Andhra Pradesh, Excellency Consul General of India in Dubai and Northern Emirates, Excellencies on the dais, ladies and gentlemen, members of the delegation, both official and trade, it gives me a great pleasure to be amongst you all today in this B2B network. And I congratulate the government of Andhra Pradesh of organizing this event in Dubai during the Expo Dubai, Expo 2020. If we go back and look at the relationship between the United Arab Emirates and the Republic of India, it goes to thousands of years back, and the base of the relationship was people to people. Now, if we look at the bilaterals between UAE and India, traditionally it was controlled in terms of foreign trade, import, export, re-export, oil and gas. But then, during the past 5 or 6 years, I would say, the whole relationship was put on a new track. Since the visit of the Honorable Prime Minister Modi in August 2015, and then, of course, was followed by another 2 visits, and also the visit of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Deputy Chief Commander of the United Arab Emirates. His first visit, which was in February 2016, and then the second visit in January 2017, being the chief guest of India Republic Day. Since then, the whole relationship came on a new track. In 2017, 17 agreements was signed, and it was crowned by the strategic agreement. My colleague, Dr. Aman, mentioned the new agreement that we are working on, and that is the CEPA, the Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement, the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. And I remember when we first started, or when we first initiated the agreement with Government of India. From the time we initiated the agreement and our negotiators started meeting, it took them about 4 or 5 sessions to finalize an agreement. For the very first time in the history of CEPA agreements all over the world, an agreement is finished in about 4 months or less than 5 months. Finalized, finished, ready for ratification and signature. This is quite a big, huge task. And I think all of us in this room, somehow or another, will benefit from the CEPA agreement. Of course, after the signature of the agreement and the ratification, we are planning on a comprehensive media campaign to explain what are the benefits and what are the things that all of us can benefit in reference to the agreement that will be signed very, very, very soon. I'm not going to take a long time, but I just thought that I'll touch on this. But again, if we really look historically, in 1985, for example, our total foreign trade, UAE, India, was merely $185 million. That was 1985. If we look at the figures of 2020, 2021, it reached to about $60 billion. And as my colleague, Dr. Aman, said, we are taking active steps to make sure with this agreement and with many other agreements that the overall bilateral trade will reach to from $60 billion to $100 billion. Once again, Honorable Minister, I extend our hands of cooperation on the level of the state of Andhra Pradesh, and we are at your service if there is anything that we could do. And at the same time, I wish everybody all the success, and especially for the visiting delegation and for their colleagues in this room, the B2B. I think there is an opportunity, a big opportunity, so let's use that to our benefits. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I call upon to the stage Mr. Sandeep ID, Office Managing Partner, KPMG, to conduct the MOU session.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, over the past few days at Dubai that the AP delegation has been there, there's been a lot of keen interest from the industry in UAE. Today we're using this platform to exchange 2 G2B MOUs and 1 B2B MOU. Over the next few days that the delegation will be in Dubai, we'll be signing 2 more MOUs with DP World and Mulk Holdings. But today, let me call upon stage Mr. Ravi Kumar Panga, Director and CEO of Causes E-Mobility Private Limited. Causes E-Mobility Private Limited is headquartered in London. It focuses heavily into providing 100% zero-emission green mobility and end-to-end solutions for public transportation systems. They've been working with governments seeking to replace all or part of their mass transit diesel vehicles with clean zero-emission electric vehicles. As part of the MOU today with the CEO of AP Economic Development Board, the company will set up an assembly and manufacturing plant to manufacture up to 1,000 buses per annum in the state of Andhra Pradesh. They've chosen to do this in the mega industrial hub at YSR Koparthi in Kadapa district. May I invite Mr. Ravi Kumar Panga, Director and CEO, and his team to join us on the dais for the MOU exchange ceremony with the CEO of Economic Development Board, Mr. JVN Subramaniam. Ladies and gentlemen, the proposed investment is approximately rupees 3,000 crores in the state of Andhra Pradesh. The second MOU, a G2B MOU, is with the Regency Group. The Regency Group, one of the very well-known names in the retail business for over 25 years under the brand name of Grand Hypermarkets. It's one of the fastest growing retail chains in GCC, spread over 10 countries globally. The group now wishes to invest in the state of Andhra Pradesh. They're looking to open 25 retail outlets with investment of 150 crores in Kadapa, Anantapur, Kurnool, Madanapalli, Hindupur, Chittoor, and Nellore. These are towns in Andhra Pradesh. They're also looking to set up distribution centers and a packaging unit for spices and pulses. May I invite the team from Regency Group to please join us on the dais. The chairman and the CEO. Ladies and gentlemen, the retail sector in Andhra Pradesh is going to be revolutionized with global names from the UAE. "25 retail units, a distribution center, and a packaging unit for spices and pulses." The third MOU is a B2B MOU between an Andhra Pradesh-based industry, Fluent Grid, which has a base in Visakhapatnam, and Troyo General Trading, a part of the SR Gurer investment group. Fluent Grid has been working on digital solutions transforming energy and water utilities. The B2B MOU being signed today is to create digital solutions in energy domain for the Middle East market. It will create 300 high-end IT jobs in Visakhapatnam, including on the latest AI and ML technologies. May I invite Mr. Majid Al Gurer, one of the leading business entrepreneurs in the region, who's also a board member of the SR Gurer investment group, on the dais, and Mr. Samay Mangalgiri from Fluent Grid for the B2B MOU exchange ceremony. So it's a B2B. It's a B2B MOU between Fluent Grid and Troyo General Trading. Thank you. Over the next few days, the delegation is also expected to sign MOUs with DP World and Mulk Holdings. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that this is just the start of what is going to be a very strong partnership between Andhra Pradesh and the UAE, both at the industry as well as the government level. The level of interest that we've seen from the industry leaders here over the past few days that the delegation has been here just shows us that this association will grow stronger over the days to come. There's already been an announcement of a dedicated UAE desk at the AP Economic Development Board, which is going to be set up in Andhra Pradesh to facilitate investments from the UAE. I'd also like to use this opportunity to open the floor for any queries, comments, initial reactions from our delegates here. So we'll have someone with the mic. If anybody has any questions to ask our dignitaries on the dais. We'll just have 2 questions on the first table there, please.
In India, most of the average logistic cost to export the goods are coming almost around 14%, which is way high compared to international norms of around 7%. So my question is, seeing so much of Andhra Pradesh, what would be approximate logistic cost? Okay. Generally, because with all this presentation, it seems it should be much better, but if you have any idea, it will help us.
Recently, the government of India has undertaken to address this situation. It is quite alarming, as what you mentioned. So the central government, the Prime Minister under Gati Shakti program want to minimize this time. So in terms of cost and also in the time. So against the international average of, we're talking about 13 or 12% or something, we are now targeting around 8%. So we would like to bring the cost down to below 8% of the logistical cost. in the coming 2 to 3 years. And there's a program set in place. Recently, we've all been attended to that program at a Delhi level, where all the ministers and secretaries were asked and targets were given to each state of what the bottlenecks are and how to clear these bottlenecks. And taking forward, it is very clear we want to be one of the top 5 cost efficient in terms of logistics. And as you mentioned, logistics is killing our exports.
Thank you so much.
Also, we've also got multimodal logistics parks, which the government of India has set out. And recently, the state of Andhra Pradesh has been awarded 2 multimodal logistics parks, one in Anantapur and another one in Srikakulam, in Visakhapatnam. That is North Andhra, and one is on the Rayalaseema, close to Andhra, Bangalore border.
So as was already explained earlier, Andhra Pradesh is ranked #1 on ease of doing business. But the current government is focusing also on speed of governance as well as reducing the cost of doing business, right? So that the logistics cost, etc., will come down there. Do we have any more queries from the audience? I think one last one we'll do from that table, please.
I think we were very good at communicating, I guess.
Good evening,
No
sir.
questions.
Thank you for coming to Dubai. I am from a place of Tirupati. So are you planning any industrial development in Tirupati, because that is very strategically close to many other ports as well? Is there any bigger plans like industrial
Well,
parks?
actually, I didn't get your good name.
Hari, this is Hari.
Hari, Tirupati is right now the destination for the IT and electronics. In fact, this morning, the Dixon Electronics is going on an expansion. It's right now employing close to about 9,000, which they're going to take it up to 15,000 people. So there's Dixon Technologies and there is other IT technologies which are coming there. Apart from it, we have 2 major institutes there, which is IIT and we have Indian Institute of Scientific. So between all these institutions that are coming there, you're going to see a big development, and also in the revised district model, what we've recently undertaken. So you will get the Sri City will come under the Tirupati. So which has been there with the Nellore district. It has now come to you, the industrial estate has come to Tirupati. So you're going to see very much big development. Also the Krishnapatnam mode between the Visakhapatnam and Chennai corridor, and Chennai and the Bangalore corridor. We've recently come out with Chris City, where NICDIC is promoting almost 3,000 acres of industrial development there. So you're going to see a lot of big developments coming in and around Tirupati very soon.
Sir, Dixon Technologies is near the airport and in the surrounding areas. Anywhere on the other side of the region in near Chittoor?
We also have EMC3 planned out. Already EMC2 is, that is Electronic Manufacturing Cluster 2 is completed. The EMC3 is also now underway, and we're expecting the global majors to come in and invest very soon over there.
Very glad to know, sir.
Sure. I'll hand it back to Angmukta to take you through the rest of the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now I invite Dr. Venkataramana, founder and CEO of Avera Electric Mobility Private Limited, for a launch of a digital product prospectus.
Dear dignitaries, my name is Dr. Venkataramana. We are from state of Andhra Pradesh, Avera. First, we started from the state of Andhra Pradesh. We are here to show our wonderful product by launching the prospect with the dignitaries here. And thank you so much. I am here to call upon our co-founder Chandni Chandra to join for this session. Thank you. We request His Excellency to part up with us.
Thank you so much. Now I invite Mr. B.V. Krishna Rao, Managing Director, Patabi Agro Foods Private Limited, to share his experience with the state government of Andhra Pradesh.
Dignitaries on the dais, I like to share some of the good experiences we people have in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh is one of the best state to work, to put your investments, where the ease of doing business is fantastic. I can say it's one of the best in the country. Your investments are assured. Progress is definitely, every year it goes on improving. So I call upon all the investors from UAE, partner with the state, partner with the industrialists. We are around 20 industrialists who have come from Andhra Pradesh to be a part of this delegation. We have been to the Expo, which is world class, the UAE style, and we have been to the Gulf food. It is something which only UAE can do, and definitely the relationship for every Indian, UAE is a second home, and definitely we enjoy working with UAE. As you might be aware that India exports close to 50% of world trade in rice, and I am the president of the exporters from India, and most of our rice goes to Africa, and all of the exporters sit in Dubai and they do the re-export, and we are very happy to have such a relationship with UAE. All Indian exporters are so secured with their funds when the routing is done through UAE. I'm very happy to say that in the same format, I request investors from UAE to put up manufacturing facilities in Andhra Pradesh. It's a good state, and definitely people are good, the government is good. I request there can be more relationship between these two countries. The ambassador of UAE in India and the ambassador of India in UAE are also among us. I'm very happy that Industries Minister, Mr. Gautam Reddy, is also making a lot of efforts to bring in investors into the state of Andhra Pradesh. They are also visiting Davos in the next 2-3 months. Every opportunity they get, they are looking for investments into this state. Definitely this relationship between India and UAE should continue, and in particular with Andhra Pradesh should grow. Thank you all.
Now we would like to take the opportunity to felicitate our guest on the dais. We invite to step forward our ambassador and be felicitated by our honorable minister. Now we invite our Major General Sharafuddin to come on the dais. We request Dr. Aman Puri, IFS officer, to step forward. We invite Sri Irfan Alana. Okay, thank you so much. Now I request Sri Zulfi Raviz, advisor to the Government of Andhra Pradesh and a special representative to the Government of Andhra Pradesh from Middle East and Far East, for a vote of thanks.
Good evening, everybody. Assalamu alaikum to everybody. Honorable Minister Shri Gautam Reddy, Minister for Industries, Commerce, IT, Skill, Development and Training, and many more portfolios. And His Excellency Dr. Albana, UAE Ambassador to India, His Excellency Major General Sharfuddin Sharaf, Chairman of UAE India Business Council, Shri Karikal Varivan, Special Chief Secretary, Industries Department and Infrastructure Department, Government of Andhra Pradesh, His Excellency Aman Puri, Consul General of India in Dubai, Shri Subramaniam, Economic Development Board Head of Government of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Govind Reddy, who is Chairman of Andhra Pradesh Industrial Infrastructure Corporation, and Shri Hafiz Khan, who is MLA of Kurnool. And thank you all, leaders of industry and business community in the UAE, industries leaders from the AP business delegations, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the State Government of Andhra Pradesh, I would like to express my deepest appreciation and profound gratitude wholeheartedly towards Honorable Chief Minister Shri Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy Garu for guiding us on this journey to build a great future and encouraging us constantly to strive and achieve this vision of making Andhra Pradesh a global hub for decades to come. Under the Honorable Chief Minister's dynamic leadership, the state of Andhra Pradesh is moving ahead with boundless energy to uplift the livelihood of citizens through industrial and social welfare development. In the worst times of COVID, when all the governments were constraining and curtailing the expenditure, our Chief Minister is the only one who is coming out with new schemes for the poor, so they shouldn't feel the effect of the COVID time. And he did so successfully that every home in Andhra Pradesh, a lady or somebody is getting some benefit from the government of Andhra Pradesh. I feel honored and privileged to get the opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on the special day at the networking dinner roundtable as a part of the investment roadshow of the government of Andhra Pradesh. On behalf of the state government, I would like to thank our chief guest, His Excellency Dr. Albana, UAE Ambassador to India. Sir, we are really honored to have you as part of the inauguration ceremony on Friday. Your presence and the time spent with us along with His Excellency Dr. Thani had really brought in a special aura to our ceremony and thereby elevated brand Andhra Pradesh. Your gracious presence will go a long way in boosting the ties between UAE and Andhra Pradesh. On behalf of the state government, I would like to thank our Honorable Minister Shri Mekapati Gautam Reddy ji for gracing this occasion and presenting our state, our vision for governance, ideals that inspire us, motivate us to create the best environment for growth and prosperity for the citizens of the state. I would also like to thank him for presenting various initiatives being taken to provide a balanced economic growth along with health and welfare. Additionally, we also thank you for taking the time to promote the state on a global platform. Also, I would like to thank Excellency Aman Puri ji, Dr. Aman Puri ji, for gracing the occasion today. So the help and support your good officers have provided to us over the past month has been immensely helpful in making our participation at the Expo and today's meeting a success. We are really thankful for your help and support and look forward to keep engaging with you in our effort to strengthen ties with UAE and collaborate on various investments and initiatives. Also want to thank the Special Chief Secretary, Dr. Karikal Varivan, Mr. Subramaniam, Chairman, and Mr. Hafiz Khan MLA for always standing by and trying to get as much investments into Andhra Pradesh as possible. I would like to thank all the chief guests and special guests for gracing the occasion and setting up on a path of mutual collaboration. Also, we'd like to thank all the delegates who have come with us from Andhra Pradesh and the startups. Special thank to the Government of India and the Government of UAE for supporting us for all this. Lastly, but most importantly, I commend the untiring efforts of the officials of various state departments, Andhra Pradesh Economic Board, and the Andhra Pradesh Industrial Infrastructure Corporation for putting such a vibrant event together. I also thank all the other people who have helped us put up this together. Let me conclude this brief intervention on behalf of the Government of Andhra Pradesh with a deep appreciation for the overwhelming response from the gathering here to participate in this network roundtable. Thank you very much. I hope you all enjoyed the dinner. We have held you all for a long time with speeches. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and now we request you all to join us for the network dinner. Thank you so much.